Have you ever stopped to think that maybe the reason it feels nobody cares about you and what you have going on is because they actually don't? This was a harsh reality that hit me like a ton of bricks, but it was something that really set me free to start a new career. My name is Mike, and I'm a firm believer that to be old and wise, you need to be young and foolish, and I have accomplished that one. It's weird that as I was going through my days, as I was working on new big businesses that were going to change the world, as I was grinding my 9 to 5, which was anything but, I always thought, you know what? People are watching me. I have to do this right. I have to make sure that I'm showing people who the fuck I am. And it was so amazing when I realized nobody fucking cared. And it was really clear to me that when the pandemic happened, I was unemployed. My job at the time was working at the international airport. There's nobody flying during that time. So contracts were lost and I was at home. And I can honestly say that very few people, very few, were worried that I was unemployed. I heard bitching and moaning about everybody else's situation and how they were so affected by the pandemic. And I get that. But they were still working. They were still conducting life as close to what it was as they could, where my family, we went down to a single income. And nobody cared. Nobody, not that they didn't care, but they didn't pay attention because they were worried about how they were going to survive, how their lives had been uprooted. And that was a huge aha moment for me. And one of the things I was able to take away from that is that if nobody is watching and nobody cares, not in a hateful way, but if everybody is so preoccupied with themselves, then why am I holding myself back from trying different things? Why am I not going full balls deep into YouTube creation? And I had no logical answer because nobody cared. So if I was posting videos, and I have another YouTube channel that is nearing 50,000 subscribers. And if I didn't start creating that, life would be totally different in what I would think is a not good way. So realizing that people didn't care, weren't paying attention to me, meant that I was able to upload more videos. I was able to share more opinions, more thoughts that before I was really scared that people would judge me. People would say, oh, you're such an idiot. I mean, they still do, but it's not because I've put myself out there. What I also learned is that when we as individuals go through hard times, 99% of the world, I know it's probably more, but a huge chunk of the world, majority of the world, doesn't care. They don't know. They don't know that they should care or that there's something to care about. But what you realize is that you have your core group, your immediate family, your handful of really good friends, not all the friends that you think you have, because after losing my job, 150 employees, 4 years later, I talked to 3 of them. And I almost didn't start a YouTube channel because I was worried about what 147 people that I had to work with would say. I worried about how they might judge me. 4 years later, they're not around me. 4 years later, I'm able to create a YouTube business. 4 years later, I've now joined the leadership team of OneClick, which is an AI company, which is way outside of where I was throwing bags at the airport. When you realize that nobody really cares about you in the sense of what you're doing, why you're doing it, how you're doing it, who you're doing it with, nobody fucking cares because everybody is so zoned in on their own life, and rightfully so. But when you understand that, in my experience, it really gives you the opportunity. It really gives you the go ahead to say, fuck it. They ain't watching. They ain't caring. They're not even considering what I may or may not go through today, tomorrow, whatever. And when you understand that, in my opinion, that is truly freeing. That is truly where we can start to grow. So stop fucking worrying about the people that don't worry about you. Look after you. Look after your family. Look after those immediate friends. But understand, you're really not the center of the universe for many people. Okay, ciao.